Buenas noches, Eric. Gracias por estar en el canal. Bueno, yo quisiera preguntarte por tu primer trabajo. Es bastante interesante, que se llama Le Petit Mort. Hombre, quisiera saber cómo fue la realización de esta historia y la creación de, obviamente, de cómo se comportaban los personajes.
Okay, as Jhon always do, welcome to the channel, Eric, and let's start for the beginning, man. Tell us about the building of the characters of Le Petit Mort. I love the name of that movie, by the way.
Well, La Petite Mort is like the first film I made, which was okay. I must explain. Like in Quebec, in Canada, there was a movement at the start of the last century. So in 2000, that it was a movement that said like we just like grab our cameras, we made some films with the new digital instrument that we can have. So we make films and we shoot that. So there was a lot of screening, because the concept was we shoot film, but we have a month to do a film, screen that in front of an audience, and the audience reacts. So we learn while doing film. And so my now editor, Benoit Lemire, we were already in that movement. And so we were shooting a film a month. And at one point I was like, okay, no, there's something more that I want to express, because it was most of the time like comedy, things that people would react to every screening. So I was like, oh no, okay, I need to work toward something that were more close to my, to stop that was important to me. So we did La Petite Mort. So long story short, we did La Petite Mort, which is part a kino, but also part something that is close to my studies that I was doing at the time, which was about horror film and porn film. So I was like, what if we do a set piece, but the movie was only a set piece? So that means like just like the gore scene or the porn scene, whatever, which is the thing that most of the fan of these genres likes. So we like to see Dario Argento, which making a horror scene. How will it shoot it? How will it look like? And that's the kind of point d'orgue in French of that movie. And that's the same thing in porn. How will things go on? So we did La Petite Mort. And La Petite Mort is that kind of mix between gore, horror, sex, and how both genres shoot that kind of movies. So it was kind of a critic also of the spectatorships, how they were looking at these kind of scenes. Like, okay, I'm looking at a slasher film. I don't care at all for the story, but oh damn, when the murder comes, wow, yeah, there were many layers in that film. So yeah, La Petite Mort was all that, but shot with mini DV at that time. So mini DV, which was kind of cheap digital camera. So we tried to do it, but yeah, sorry. I just kept on going, but that was the point of La Petite Mort.
Bueno, yo quisiera hablar sobre el tema de Purgatorio. Es un tema que un poco lo han visto, en qué plataforma se puede ver, y está también una gran realización que se llama Coming Home. Es sobre supervivencia y es algo más distinto a lo que poco se ha visto del cine.
Short answer, where we can see Purgatory, we cannot find it. And two, man, you directed Coming Home, that is a really different word from the things that somehow the spectators want for your job. I know it's not weird because when we talk with Domiciano, he has made some dramas, some movies. This is for survival, but tell us more about Purgatory and Coming Home.
Purgatory, you can find it on my Vimeo page at Thanatomorphose Films. Purgatory was it was shot at the same time as La Petite Mort. And I'd say Purgatory was really more, La Petite Mort is a kind of meta look at horror and porn film. Purgatory is more an inside look at what I was feeling, which kind of echoed a lot of film that I did afterward, like Thanatomorphose, my feature, and Asmodeus, the last one I did. There's kind of there is something that links all those films together. Anyway, Purgatory. It was a difficult film because at that time, well, first I wanted to shoot on film, so we shot on Super 8mm film, which was reversal film, Ektachrome, if I remember. So the red looked readiers and everything. Whatever, that's technical. The important thing to say is that I was really in kind of the mood that bring me to Thanatomorphose, which is I was kind of starting a bad place in my life, so Purgatory was kind of a release of that, which mean I was feeling a lot of emotion, and I was trying to find a way to express it visually by mixing a lot of films that I love. There's a lot of references to Hellraiser, The Wall by Alan Parker. So yeah, Purgatory was something. Then Coming Home was shot a little bit after. Coming Home started simply by that idea that after reading Shakespeare's Macbeth, I was obsessed with that idea of the Lady Macbeth just trying to clean up her hand with the blood. So it's like, what if vengeance was like that? It's not a kind of a new ideas. It's not something special, but I was like, how can I express that? I had the idea of a guy just trying to rip off the sin of his hand, and then it just like got so physical because it just kept on ripping on his own end. So the end of the movie was the first things that came with Coming Home, and after I constructed the film around it. But what is fun with Coming Home is that it is the first of my movies that really had an international repercussion, how can I say that? But that really got to people elsewhere, because speaks essentially of a kind of, it's nihilism, because the movies just said, whatever you do, unfortunately, once it's done, there's nothing you can do with it. So it's kind of nihilism. But there was something international in the way that it was talking about things that whatever language you speak, whatever country you were in, the fact that vengeance, that fact that emotions were talking to someone, it was important. So that's the first film that really traveled for me, and I could go with it, and it was really an eye-opener, because I've just realized that I could tell a story that maybe could talk with a lot of people. So yeah. So long story short, yeah, coming home was something different, but not so different. But it kind of opened my mind and let the reception of coming home allow me to understand that I could create by talking about myself, and it would open to other peoples. What I've said seems like comment ça je peux dire en français, une vérité de palais. It seems like easy to say that, like, I create from myself, so everyone will like. No, it's not that easy, because when you create, you're always alone, and you're always in yourself. So when there's people that react to what you're doing, it just open the doors of what you can do, because you says, oh, I can talk about that, I can go further. So yeah, so coming home was kind of that door opening that just let me know that I can be an artist.
Je parle un peu de français, mais merci beaucoup pour ne parler français, because you told us that you were trying to know. I understand everything, man, and I will tell it everything to Jhon. And look at us, we are talking about coming home with people from Colombia, so you are right. That's the movie that, yeah. Jhon, continúa.
Esta sí es una película que la verdad sí la pasé mal. Thanatomorphose. Es una película que la verdad me dejó pensando. Yo creo que la descomposición, yo creo que en el cine transgresor se más evidencia es en la base de lo que hace el cine dominiciano y el tuyo, Eric. Porque es que dominiciano con Erotic, cuando la presentó, me volvió loco. Y cuando vi esta, yo dije, más loco me volví. Entonces, ¿cómo de pronto poder, o sea, cumplir el organismo de la historia?
Okay, you heard, yes, Thanatomorphose, but also, and that's the reason why we mentioned at the beginning other authors, because, yeah, man, I don't know how we say it in English, but in Spanish is transgressor cinema, cine that breaks everything. And Jhon said something that all the people that watch the movie feel right. That movie makes us feel terrible. Not that it's a terrible movie. No, it's an amazing movie with the makeup, with all the decisions, but you know it, man. It's not a feel-good movie. So, yeah, man, how do you achieve? Because it's crazy. I don't know how Jhon managed to watch Rotit from Domiciano, and later he watched Thanatomorphose. I don't know where he got the guts, but yeah, man, how do you manage to make that movie, that movie get to that point, man?
I'm someone who loved movies at first, and I'm someone who's been moved by movies. And what I could say is that before making Thanatomorphose, all my films, anyway, beyond all my films talks, or I try to reach something that I felt as a simple moviegoer. And there are films that troubled me. Like, I remember being a kid watching The Wall by Alan Parker. There's some stuff in all of my movies. There's a references to The Wall. But Cannibal Holocaust, which was kind of one of the main films in my life, I didn't like watching it. I was troubled. But that feeling that I got while watching it was kind of a motivation when I started making movies. It's like two things. Okay, as a filmmaker, there's two things. The first thing is like, I have some concepts, I have some ideas that I want to work with, like Thanatomorphose. It's like this woman rapping that talks about death, how we deal with our bodies, how we deal with the idea of womanhood with manhood. The other part of me as a filmmaker is like how I can recapture what I felt when I was a kid watching Cannibal Holocaust, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh, that kind of feeling that just like, oh, how can I recreate this feeling that when we watch a movie, it's not just we watch a movie, it's like we felt something. So as a filmmaker, I try to bring both my or whatever, like the fact that I'm a scholar, but with the emotion that I felt while I was watching movie. So every time I'm directing something, the first thing I think is how people will feel and how I will feel. So Thanatomorphose, the first thing is like it was based on how I was feeling at that time. More than that, the idea with every decision that was made for the editing, the framing was more like, how can I make people feel like I was feeling when I was in the depression. And how can I have people feel stuff that I was feeling when I was a kid watching some stuff, some kind of movies. So, yeah. So that's really kind of the core. It's just the emotion. And I'm still working like that, like Asmodeus, and I've directed a music video for a band called Tempête. It's just like a question of timing, but the timing goes with the emotion. So how do you want people to feel, and how do I felt when I was doing something? So yeah, sorry, I just went through, but yeah, that's how it came to be.
I want to ask you myself something because you mentioned a music video, man. I want to know not only the band but the genre because first question, is metal or isn't metal? Because sometimes people think that this kind of imagery is for metal, but no, you can make something really horrid in the right sense of the word with all kinds of music. So tell me more about the music video because I love that.
Yeah, but well, for me, it's like it's always the same thing. It's just like, how could you make people feel something? It's just for music videos, for short films, for whatever I'm working on. It's just like I want to try to get an emotion in someone, and I feel that filmmaking nowadays is losing it's losing its focus, because most of the people try to be narrative, to work like a television show, trying to go further into the motivation of the character. But no, the important thing for me is like, you're doing a movie, you're doing a short film, you have 1 hour and a half, you have 15 minutes, so you go for the emotions. That's it. It's really complicated because some emotion needs time to be felt. Some other, like comedy, it's fast. Drama, sometimes drama, it could be fast because you can just put some like structure that we all know, like Romeo and Juliet. So a love that can happen, how people will react. but working on what it means to be a human, to be someone in the world actually. So we need to kind of to work on that. So long story short, again, because I'm going, but I feel that the only thing I'm trying to do when I'm doing my music videos, I'm doing my short films, I'm doing my films, is just to find the right rhythm, to get to that emotion. And if you get to that emotion, you don't need to talk about whatever. Just one emotion for a film, that's enough. And one emotion to talk about a subject, that's enough. So that's kind of my way of working things.
Please share us later the link for the music video. We want to see it. And don't worry, I'm loving your questions, your answers, sorry. And Jhon is writing me. He seems so passionate. And I was, yes. And we love that. Jhon, ya le dije.
Sí, gracias. Pero una dirección distinta a lo de él. Créame que aquí hemos tenido estrellas de cine para adultos, actrices, y es bastante pues destacado para que ellos puedan también dar su punto de vista. Pero no hemos tenido pues a personas que han dirigido una escena para Pure Table. Ya sabemos el tema. Pues yo lo que digo, ¿cómo usted de pronto puede enfocar o enfatizar de que cuando uno ve un contenido de cine para adultos, uno dice, lo ha dirigido alguien que sí sabe de cine porque o sea, la actitud de los personajes no es lo mismo que entran y bueno, al acto no. Todo va con un guión. Entonces, ¿por qué no volvió de pronto a dirigir más con Pure Table o si en un futuro le gustaría regresar a la industria? ¿Qué opinas? Y también la experiencia de dirigir a varios, pues obviamente, actores que ya tienen su renombre.
Y aquí se cierra el círculo porque él empezó, yo después te traduzco una teoría sobre lo que sería pornografía y gore, pero desde otra manera. Okay, I love this question because I think closes the cycle of when you tell me that you were making your art, feeling that, okay, this is like pornography or this is another kind of movies, because we got the loot to interview people from the industry, big names, but never people that from the adult film industry, but never people that directed. And man, you directed for Pure Taboo, Under the Bed, The Thief from the Lake. So man, I love this question. What are the elements for the one person that watched this kind of material said, this is a really interesting direction because it's not that, the everyday direction that, somebody delivers a pizza and do that thing. And yes, how was the experience to to work with people from the industry? I love what Jhon said. Please come back and do something like that material. We love adult film industry when it's well done. So tell us.
Okay. Well, two things. The first thing is like it was really fun to work with people from the industry. Actually, came to me to direct that episode, and they were really like, we're making an anthology. What's your ideas? How can we do it? And everything. So that was really something that was cool. First thing first. That said, making a porn movie it's like making every other kind of movies. I mean, you're at one point you're a director, you have an idea, you're not focusing on sex per se, you're focusing on how you shoot sex, which is something else. The framing, the how you put it, and that's where the pornography is interesting when you start to think about how you frame it. And that's why, for me, it's one of the most important genre in filmmaking, because it's all about how you put the camera, how you frame stuff. So it's really a genre that is about cinema. The word, it doesn't always, it isn't always used like this. But for me, as a filmmaker, it was like, okay, I will take the idea of monster movies as a pretext to work with something else. So, working in the porn industry was like trying to find a way to be able to put forth that idea of working with something that is purely visual, which is kind of the core of what pornography is about. And it's the core of what horror film is about when you think about it, so it makes sense for me. So yeah. Pure Taboo, Under the Bed, The Thing from the Lake, it was inspired by, obviously, the creature from Black Lagoon, but also from the segment in Creepshow 2, which is the segment from Stephen King with the
I love it, the one, the Thing of the Lake.
Yeah. So that's what really it is. So that's what the goal. But for me, like, doing pornography made sense because we're working on creating an ambience, texture, which is what our film is about. It's always putting people in a mood, trying to find ways to surprise them with some sound editing, sound design. So yeah, it was really that idea between that film, and I was really happy that they invited me to direct that. Yeah.
We got the amazing Rocco Siffredi. It's all the sad thing to you. Porn is one of the most purest ways of art. It is well made, of course, because you can do bad porn or you can do good porn. Yeah. And second, the amazing Esperanza Gomez from our country, our queen, she says that you can really meet a good director when he do a good porn, because you can win an Oscar, but if you don't know how to do porn, well, you don't know it. Yeah, the amazing Patty Tejas Olvio. So, man, thank you for that answer, because Jhon will love it.
But okay, so Polyloire, which is one of the greatest surrealist French author, and he said, like, I will kind of say it a bit. I will translate it in my head. What he said is like, there's nothing like seeing sexes on a big screen. There's something poetic and metaphysical, because there's something that you will never see in your own life, and there's something bigger because the aesthetic, like how you use the camera to do something. There's something that's proper to cinema. And when Rocco Siffredi, probably when he said that to you, I just hear that, because I see that there's something bigger than life. There's something that, and it's not just porn. It's like horror film. It's like document, whatever. There's a way of framing life when cinema can look at stuff and look at things in a way that you never looked at it before, that is bigger than life. And it makes you connect with something bigger than life. And porn film makes it with sex, even though people don't want to look at it. But when you see on a huge screen. Two sexes coming, getting wow! It's something that transcends your regular experience of what you're living. So it's the same thing with horror, same thing with drama. It's the same, but yeah, I can understand what I was saying to you. Sorry.
No, you're right.
Some time ago.
You're right, man. I saw one of the most beautiful things I experienced in my life. There was a crazy guy in a little town that I lived. He entered in like not a sacred place, but a museum, and he put not porn, art movies with sex. Of course, a lot of people free, but I was like, this is beautiful. He's like not violating, but he's like desecrating this sacred place with that, and for me, that's amazing. So I need to watch your movies in an environment like that, man, not in a small screen. Yes. So that's why Jhon, mostly myself, Jhon worked, but now I'm working on a horror scene, a horror festival, and that's the way we need to see horror, terror, no, in big screen with a lot of people watching the real stuff. That's why I say I'm passionate too. Jhon, dime.
Para terminar los 5 minutos increíbles, hombre, vamos a tomar la foto, pero respóndame la pregunta de general. Defina su trabajo en una palabra.
Jhon, dime que salió bien.
I was just saying, like, you need me anytime. I mean, don't stress. I mean, just ask me. I'm here.
No, man, don't worry. Jhon was checking if the picture was right. And final time, try to define your career in one word.
Oh, wow. In one word. Fuck. Wow. That's the best question I've ever had. It's hard. Okay, I'm sorry. I just don't know how to answer. That's one of the best one I ever got. One word. One word. I'd say. Oh, okay. I have a word in French, but I'm trying to find a way to say it.
You can say it in French. I understand a little.
Intériorité.
Like ethereal?
Enter. I don't know.
Interiority. Inside. Interiority.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yes. Interiority. Yeah.
Wow. I
Good
think it's the best question.
Good.
But in French, it's not like in English. It's not the same. It's not the same profondeur. It's not the same thing. But yeah, you understand. You both understand. Okay. Intériorité. Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Wow. Beautiful. Jhon, sin palabras. Entrevistota.
No, entrevistota. Eric, gracias por estar en el canal.
Episode.
Good job, man. You're the best, man.
You're the best, man.
Thank both of you, and thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you for taking the time to understand when I'm bumbling and I'm like trying and putting French words, and it was fun. And thanks for reaching out to me. Thank you very much.
Oh, bienvenido siempre. Welcome forever,
sí.
man. Welcome forever.
Welcome forever, man. Welcome forever.
And we'll meet one day, I'm sure. In person. Hope so.
I will tell you, one of the dreams I got is that the festival that I'm working get bigger so we can reach to the artists. So who knows?
We'll talk with everyone, but I'm sure one day we'll share a drink together.
Yes, I know. Hopefully, man.
Sure.
Sure. No, thank you.
I thanks both of you.
Oh, thank you so much. Great weekend, man. You're the best.
Great weekend. Au revoir.
If you need anything, just write to me and I will send it to you.
I will translate that part, Jhon, que lo que necesites, le escribas.
Okay.
Gracias.
Thanks,
No,
guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye, bye.